Hey everyone, this is George, and for this video we're talking anything but The Walking Dead. 10 zombie comic books that aren't in The Walking Dead. It's easy to understand that when people think zombie comic books, the first thing that comes to mind is most likely The Walking Dead. But there's actually a whole lot of other zombie comics out there, and here's a list of 10 you might want to check out. This list is not in any particular order. I'm just sharing info on different zombie comics that are waiting to be consumed by you all. And I'll also be sharing the trailer for my zombie comic book, Zombie Deathball Mayhem. And the first entry on my list is Year Zero from publisher AWA Upshot. I actually read the first issue of this miniseries and I enjoyed the artwork and story a lot, and I definitely look forward to reading the rest of this series. Another zombie comic you might want to check out is The Dead Kingdom of Flies from Berserker Comics. This is another zombie comic book series. I actually haven't read this series, but the fantastic Glenn Fabry cover artwork definitely makes me want to track down the series. The third entry is Zombie from Marvel Comics' Max publishing line, and this is a very different series from the ever popular Marvel Zombies comics, so don't get them confused. I've read this miniseries and I enjoyed it a lot. This series also lives up to the Marvel Max imprint, so expect lots of gory zombie action in this one. Another zombie series you might be interested in is Kiss Zombies from publisher Dynamite Comics. When I discovered this book in my Google search to compile this list, my mind nearly exploded with the exposure to such awesomeness. I haven't read it, but definitely want to. You get the legendary rock band Kiss and zombies. What more could you want? The number 5 entry on my list is The Walking Dead. Not kidding. The Walking Dead actually made this list, but it's not the one that you're thinking. I'm actually talking about the miniseries The Walking Dead from publisher Aircel Comics. I've actually seen the single issues of this book at my local Half Price Books years ago, and for whatever reason I didn't grab them. All I know is that the cover artwork looks pretty cool. Unfortunately, the publisher Aircel has been defunct for some time now, and I'm not even sure if there was ever a collected edition of this series. So if you want to read this, you're probably actually going to have to track down the individual single issues. Another zombie comic is Zombie Tramp from Action Lab Comics. I actually haven't read any issues of this series, so I don't know what the story is about, but the artwork is definitely cool. But I have seen this series occasionally in my local comic book shop, and they fly off the shelf, so I'm assuming they have a really strong fan base. The 7th entry is Deceased from DC Comics. So technically the zombies in Deceased aren't actually zombies, they're infected. But I think fans of zombie comics would probably enjoy this series, so I'm including it here. I've read this series and I loved it. There's also follow-up series, so if you like this volume, there's going to be more Deceased series for you to read. The 8th entry on my list is Enter the Zombie from publisher Antarctic Press. I actually saw this at a Half Price Books recently, and I wish I would have picked it up because the cover looks awesome. I haven't read this one, but I definitely want to. Another zombie comic you might want to track down is Steve Niles' Remains from publisher IDW. This story was a lot of fun and I really like the artwork in this story. This one also has a made-for-TV film that you can check out too if you're interested. And before revealing the final entry, here's the trailer for my comic Zombie Deathball Mayhem. final entry on this list is Dead World from Caliber Comics. I wish I could say I've read this. Even as a kid, I wanted to read this series, but I could never find any copies of the series anywhere or any collected editions. And even today, I can't recall ever seeing this series for sale anywhere. I think it's just pretty scarce. What I do know is that everyone I've ever talked to about this series seems to hold it in very high esteem, and just looking at the striking cover images, it looks like it definitely deserves the reverence that people have for this series. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want me to make another one of these, there's plenty more zombie comics. I could make another one of these videos very easily. Just let me know. And if you're interested in supporting the Kickstarter campaign, check out the link in the video description. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.